Hurricanes are the most violent storms on Earth. They form near the equator over warm ocean waters. Actually, the term hurricane is used only for the large storms that form over the Atlantic Ocean or Eastern Pacific Ocean. The generic scientific term of these storms, wherever they occur, is tropical cyclone. Other names they are given depending where in the world they are born, like typhoons, cyclones, severe tropical cyclones, or severe cyclonic storms. Whatever they are called, the same forces and conditions are at work in forming these giant storms, any of which can cause damage or devastations where they hit land where people live. Tropical cyclones are like engines that require warm, moist air as a fuel, so the first ingredient needed for a tropical cyclone is warm ocean water. That's why tropical cyclones form only in tropical regions where the ocean is at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit for at least the top 50 meters below the surface. The second ingredient for a tropical cyclone is wind. In the case of hurricanes that forms in the Atlantic Ocean, the wind blowing westward across the Atlantic from Africa provides the necessary ingredient. As the wind passes over the ocean's surface, water evaporates, turning to water vapor, remember that, and rises. So what happens? As it rises, the water vapor cools and condenses back into large water droplets, forming large cumulonimbus clouds. These clouds are just the beginning, and also release latent heat in the cloud. That's the main energy. Meteorologists have divided the development of tropical cyclones into 4 stages: tropical disturbance, tropical depression, tropical storm, and full-fledged tropical cyclone. The tropical disturbance is when the water vapor from the warm ocean condenses to form clouds. It releases its heat, latent heat, to the air. The warmed air rises and spills into a column of clouds. Evaporation and condensation continue, building the cloud columns higher and larger. A pattern develops with the wind circulate around the center like water going down a drain. As the moving column of air encounters more clouds, it becomes a cluster of thunderstorm clouds, called a tropical disturbance. Every year, probably you're gonna have more than 100 tropical disturbances, but only few will be developed and become hurricane. As a tropical depression, the thunderstorms grow higher and larger. The air at the top of the cloud column is cooling and becoming unstable. As the heat energy is released from the cooling water vapor, the air at the top of the clouds becomes warmer, making the air pressure higher and cause winds to move outward away from the high pressure area. This movement and warming causes pressure at the surface to drop. Then air at the surface moves toward the lower pressure area, rises, and creates more thunderstorms. Winds in the storm cloud column spin faster and faster, whipping around a circular motion. When the winds reach between 25 and 38 miles per hour, the storm is called a tropical depression. The next stage is tropical storm. So when the wind speeds reach 39 miles per hour, the tropical depression becomes a tropical storm. This is also when the storm gets a name. The winds blow faster and begin twisting and turning around the eye, or calm center, as the storm. Wind direction is counterclockwise, west to east in the northern hemisphere, and clockwise, east to west in the southern hemisphere. This phenomenon is known as the Coriolis effect. You learn about that. Finally, the tropical cyclone. When the wind speed reaches 74 miles per hour, the storm is officially a tropical cyclone. The storm is at least 50,000 feet high and around 120 miles across. The eye is around 5 to 30 miles wide. The trade winds, which blow from east to west, push the tropical cyclones toward the west. In this case here, toward the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, or the southeastern coast of the United States. The winds and the low air pressure also cause a huge amount of ocean water to pile up near the eye of the tropical cyclone, which can cause monster storm surges when all this water reaches land. Tropical cyclones usually weaken when they hit land because they are no longer being fed by the energy, the latent heat from the warm ocean waters. However, they often move in far inland, dumping many inches of rain, causing lots of wind damage before they die out completely. So next, what are the 5 categories you always heard about tropical cyclones? Cat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what that means. So Saffir-Simpson created this scale based on the wind speed and the damage. So a Cat 1 means wind speed between 74 to 95 miles per hour and the damage at landfall is minimal. However, talk about the wind speed damage because if a slow storm moving over land also can produce a heavy rain and flooding, to be considered. So the Cat 2 means the wind speed goes from 96 to 110 and the damage by the wind is moderate. Now a Cat 3 start to call the major hurricanes 3, 4 and 5. So Cat 3, the wind goes from 111 to 129 miles per hour and damage is extensive. And so on for the Cat 4 will have extreme damage and Cat 5 will be 157 miles per hour or higher and the wind damage is catastrophic. If you look at this image, it represents the GOES 12 move of Hurricane Katrina, which struck the coasts of Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama on August 29, 2005 as a Category 4. In this move you can see the storm starts to form in the Atlantic in August 24 and becoming more and more structured as it gains energy over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico.